Sa madaling sabi, meron tayong ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation na ang tanging layunin lamang ay para hawakan ang ABS-CBN shares at para magbenta ng PDR. Tama po ba?
Opo.
At siyempre, kinakailangan nyo ng security agent na siyang magbebenta in other places.
Hindi po. Yung security agent, yun lang po ang humahawak ng 132 million shares.
Okay.
Ang security para sa PDRs.
Let's clarify this. Ano naman ang papel ng Capital International Private Equity Funds na lumalabas sa inyong financial statements, CIPEF?
Ang pagkaalam po namin na i-verify ni Attorney Quezon, sila po ay bumili ng PDRs.
Sila ay bumili ng PDR. Actually, base sa aming research, ang CIPEF is merely a private equity funds, the leading global marketing markets. At ang nagme-may-ari ay ang Capital International Incorporated. Tama po ba?
Tama po siguro yun. Pero
At yung Capital International Incorporated ay hindi Filipino corporation.
tama po yun. Pero ang binili po kasi nila ay PDRs lang.
Okay, ang binili nila PDR.
Opo.
Pinapaliwanag nyo kanina na bawat PDR na binibili,
Tama po yun. Pero ang binili po kasi nila ay PDRs lang.
Okay, ang binili nila PDR.
Opo.
Pinapaliwanag nyo kanina,
Opo.
kaya yung 130 binibili,
Tama po yun, pero
kinakailangan binili ng CPEF, merong equivalent na 132 million shares of stock ng ABS-CBN. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Okay. Pagkatapos,
ano lang yun.
kung ako bumili ng PDR, I can exercise my option para maging stockholder ng ABS-CBN sapagkat ako ay Pilipino.
Kung Pilipino po, wala
Okay.
akong problema.
Kung foreigner, hindi pwedeng bumili.
Hindi po pwede po.
So, assuming na yung 132 million, ang bumiling lahat ay foreigner. So, yung foreigner will never be the owner of the common shares of stock.
Not possible po.
Not. At yung 132 million common shares of stock ay sino ang lalabas na merong legal title?
Ang ABS-CBN Holdings po.
Ang ABS-CBN Holdings.
Opo.
At sa totoo, sapagkat nakapag-issue na ang ABS-CBN Holdings ng 132 million PDR, hindi na pwedeng ibenta ng ABS-CBN Holdings yung 132 million shares of security ng $132 million PDR. Tama po ba?
Tama po kasi naka-pledge po yun.
Naka-pledge na. Sa madaling sabi, there is a certain limitation. There is a certain control insofar as the shares of ABS-CBN is concerned sapagkat Yung CPEP, which is an international which is a foreign corporation, hindi na nila pwedeng ibenta sa mga yung CPEP, which is an international Filipinos, yung shares of stock, which is a foreign corporation,
Unless po,
hindi na nila pwedeng ibenta sa mga Pilipinos, yung shares of stock.
unless po, mag-exit ang mag-exit ang
hindi po pwede as a rule. Hindi po pwede as a rule. Okay.
Hindi po.
Balik tayo. Balik tayo. We have the constitutional provision under section 6 o parte que Article 16 section 1 regarding regarding 100% Filipino ownership. At bukod dito sa constitutional provision, meron din tayong section 2 of Presidential Decree 1018 na ating sinusunod na sa mass media kinakailangan 100%.
Opo.
At meron din tayong Republic Act 7042, the Foreign Investments Act. At ang sabi nila sa Foreign Investments Act, when we have a company engaged in mass communication katulad ng ABS-CBN, kinakailangan Filipinos.
That's correct.
Okay. Nabanggit natin kanina yung dalawang kaso. Yung kaso ng Gamboa versus Sebes. Pati na yung kaso ni Roy. Dito ang pinag-uusapan dito, public utilities.
Yes.
At ang public utilities, ang sinasabi natin sa ligang batas, 60-40. Kaya ang sabi ng Supreme Court, kinakailangan 60% must belong to citizens of the Philippines who have the power of control. Okay. Pero kung pag-uusapan naman natin ABS-CBN, kinakailangan 100%. Applying the control test. Tama po ba? Tama. Yun din ang sinasabi ng ating mga based on the cases. Sa ngayon, alam natin na itong constitutional provision, wala pang definite ruling ang Supreme Court. Whether or not PDRs would be in violation of the Constitution.
There is none.
Pangalawa, meron din tayo asunto ng PDRs involving Rappler. Although sabi nyo iba ang kaso ng Rappler. Doon sa kaso ng Rappler, sinabi ng Securities and Exchange Commission na violation ng Rappler ang pag-i-issue ng PDR. Yun lamang.
Hindi po yung pag-i-issue ng PDR, yung terms po ng PDR.
Okay, so madaling sabi, yung bang PDR na in-issue ng Rappler, kinonsider ng Securities and Exchange Commission as valid, not in violation of the Constitution?
Hindi po sinabing valid yun. Sinasabi lang nila that...
Okay. Let's limit the discussion.
Okay.
Ang ginawa ng Securities and Exchange Commission, kinancel ang Articles of Incorporation ng Rappler.
Tama po.
At ang sabi ng SEC, you violated the constitutional provision. Yun lamang. Dinala ng Rappler sa Court of Appeals. At pagdating sa Court of Appeals, ang sabi ng Court of Appeals ay there has been also a violation of the constitutional provision and therefore, baliwala yung PDRs ng Rappler. Of course, ang laging sinasabi ng ABS-CBN, including some of the lawyers, the case of Rappler is different from the case of ABS-CBN. Okay. As of now, ganong karami na ang PDRs issued by ABS-CBN? More or less.
How many PDRs na daw issued? Mga 349 million po.
349 million?
349 million PDR shares. At itong
Mr. Chairman, the authorized PDRs is about 329 million, but the outstanding, the authorized registered and listed is about 329 million, but
329 million. Is that correct, Attorney Quezon? 329 million.
But the
outstanding
is about 290
million. These are shares, Attorney Quezon.
These are PDRs, Your Honor.
PDRs, yes. What would be the value per PDR? If that's 329 million authorized, 290 million, what would be the value of each?
Your Honor, may market value po yan. At the time it was issued, mga 46 po yan binenta. Pero currently, we understand na ang value niyan sa merkado is only about 15 pesos.
15 pesos.
Now po.
When you... Congressman Bersaga, I think your mic is off. But let me just, when it was issued at 46 pesos, how much was the common share at that time, the local, of the ABS-CBN Corporation?
About that price, Your Honor.
46?
About that, right?
46 din po.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead,
Or
Congressman
slightly
Bersaga.
lower.
Please continue. Thank you po, ABS-CBN.
So, ang outstanding na PDR ng ABS-CBN is for 290 million.
As of March 31, 2020, it's 298,827,100 PDRs.
At kung i-compute natin yan times 46, it would amount to how many billions or trillions of pesos?
Mr. Chairman, are you asking the chair to compute?
Yes, please. I don't have any, hindi abot yung aking cellphone sa dami ng zero na kinakailangan. More or less, how much?
I think we just want to have a figure. We don't have to be exact about it. So
Yes,
200
more or less lang. Ballpark figure. Assuming na 46.
It's 13.3 billion at 46, Your Honor.
13.3
0.3 billion pesos. Billion.
billion. Okay. Itong 290 million PDRs, meron tong security na 290 million common shares of stock.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Kasi kung ako naman ang bibili, pwede ba PDR na lang bibiliin ko? Ano value niyan? Kinakailangan merong pledge of security na isang common share of stock ng ABS-CBN. Ang halaga at the time is assuming 46 pesos. Tama po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And based on your records right now, itong 290 million shares of stock, how many are owned by, were sold, or how many are owned by, not owned? How many, ilan ang porsyento na foreigners ang investor? Para wala tayong problema sa whether sale, etc.
Yung shares po ng ABS-CBN Broadcasting, wala pong foreigner dun. Walang foreigner.
Hindi nga, alam
Mr.
nga
Chair,
natin.
ang
Pero ang
tinatanong po
sinasabi ko, yung PDR.
Mr. Chair,
Yung PDR na inisyu yung 290 million. Ganong karaming PDR ang nag-invest ay mga foreigner?
sa ABS-CBN Holdings po, gaano po karami? Yung po ang tanong ni Congressman Barsaga.
Mr. Chairman, the
PDR.
Mr. Chair,
Yung PDR
non-Filipino,
na inisyu nyo,
as of March 31 is 62.6% of
62.
of the total outstanding PDRs.
So kung 290 million, 60% would amount to approximately
Mga 180 million. No? About 180 million
about 180 million PDRs
PDRs are owned by non-Filipinos.
are owned by non-Filipinos.
Yes.
Kasama na po ba dyan yung dun po sa Lopez Holdings? Iba pa ho yun.
Iba po yan.
Iba pa ho yun.
It's a
But it's
different-
also listed anyway. Nandun po nakadeclare na yung non-Filipino sa Lopez Holdings.
Lopez Inc. yung which Lopez Holdings, Mr. Chairman?
Lopez Holdings, in the Lopez Holdings, there are PDRs. No, Lopez Inc. is not a listed company. Lopez Holdings is the listed company.
Iba pa ho yun.
So, iba pa.
Ibang,
Go ahead.
I think it's a different PDR.
Oh, it's not the ABS-CBN PDRs,
Yeah.
but it's in the Declaration of Stockholders meeting that Lopez Holdings are selling PDRs for ABS-CBN Corporation. I read it earlier for the record.
Lopez Inc. ho yan, Mr. Chairman.
Lopez Inc. So there are PDRs in Lopez Inc.
Sa Pilipino yun.
Lopez Inc. is a shareholder of ABS-CBN Corporation.
That's correct. Yes. So, but in the declaration that you had, is the PDR lodged at Lopez Inc. or Lopez Holdings?
ABS-CBN Holdings. Ho. ABS-CBN Holdings is the issuer of the PDRs.
Yes. So there are no ABS-CBN PDRs in Lopez Holdings nor Lopez Inc. I think you better
Wala,
check
wala.
the website of Lopez Holdings. Na klarong-klaro po doon na may, although hindi po malinaw.
That's a different arrangement. Ho.
Go ahead, Congressman Barsaga.
Medyo nalimutan ko na, pasensya na. Ganong karami yung pag-aari ng mga foreign nationals na PDRs?
As of March 31 nga ho, it's 187,080,141.
187 million
80,141.
800
41 PDRs.
187,841 PDRs.
187,080,141.
Okay, let's just round it up. 187 million. And this 187 million, there is an underlying share of stock, common, equivalent also to 187 million. Tama po ba?
Yes.
At ito
Mr.
namang
Chairman.
187 million shares of stock, which serve as the pledge of 187 million PDRs, cannot be sold to the foreigners.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And because this 187 million shares of stocks secured the PDRs issued to foreigners, ABS-CBN Holdings cannot sell to another person, even Filipino citizens, this 187 million shares of stock unless yung foreigner ay ibebenta o i-dispose of ang kanyang PDR. Tama po ba?
Because it's covered by a pledge. Your
Ha?
Honor. Because it's covered by a pledge. Your Honor.
What?
It is covered by a pledge.
Covered by a pledge.
And because it is covered by a pledge, the hands of ABS-CBN Holding is tied by that pledge. Hindi nila pwedeng ibenta yan. Yung 187 million shares of stock, kahit na pag-aari pa ng ABS-CBN Holdings, sapagkat ito ay covered ng PDRs na binili ng mga foreigners. Tama ba?
Tama po.
That is the basic, because pledge is a security. And as security, you cannot dispose of it. Tama?
Tama po. But he
And to a
continues.
certain extent, the shares of ABS-CBN in the sum of 187 million, covering the 187 million PDRs, ABS-CBN, even the holding company, cannot sell that.
Cannot
And
po.
therefore, insofar as the ownership of ABS-CBN, that will be the issue which we shall discuss as to whether or not there is a violation of the constitutional provision. Kasi ang sinasabi natin, and I think all the lawyers would agree, when it comes to ABS-CBN, it should be zero control of the foreigner. And when we speak of control, anything that limits the shareholding or restricts the right would amount to control. Ewan ko kung yan ang maging posisyon ng ABS-CBN. But as far as I'm concerned, based on the cases decided, it seems that that would be the decision of our courts.
Pero po, yung restriction not to sell is really because of the pledge. So in any pledge instrument po,
Kaya
hindi
nga,
po yung pwede.
nakakaintindihan na tayo. Yung 187 million shares of stock, yun ang security
Opo.
para doon sa 187 million PDRs. Bagamat ang may-ari ng 187 million shares of stock is still ABS-CBN, sapagkat hindi naman pwedeng i-exercise ng foreigner yung option to purchase because that is prohibited under the Constitution, restricted ang right ng ABS-CBN para ibenta yung 187 million shares. Tama po ba?
Tama po yun. Although he continues to exercise ownership, kanya din po ang dividendo, tuloy-tuloy.
No, but you know the ruling. I understand that you are a reviewer in civil law. And one of the attributes of ownership will be to dispose the thing which he owned. Pero ang problema rito, yung ABS-CBN Holdings, they cannot dispose of that 187 million shares because naka-pledge nga eh. Kasi kung ikaw naman ang foreigner, hindi ka bibili ng PDR unless there is a security, and that security is that one common share of stock. Tama po ba?
Agree po that there is a restriction on your right to dispose. Pero it is also po a principle of ownership that if you want to restrict your right by pledging or encumbering it, then it is also part of your ownership right to encumber those shares.
Okay, kaya nga sinasabi natin, there is a restriction insofar as the ownership of the shares of stock of ABS-CBN is concerned. Tama po ba?
Tama po. But
And
it
if
can-
there is a restriction, to a certain extent, there is control. And the control comes from the investment made by the foreigners representing the PDRs which they have purchased. At ang sinasabi natin, corporate layering, at ito ang Latin maxim ni Deputy Speaker Marcoleta, as held in the case of Tawang case, that what cannot be done directly cannot be done indirectly. Kasi ang kung bumuha nito ABS-CBN, sila nagbenta ng shares of stock, definitely there will be a violation.
Thank you,
Well, anyway,
Congressman
I'll stop
Barsaga.
from there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Attorney Del Castillo. Thank you for the very enlightening discussion that you had, Honorable Barsaga. And let me just call the attention of ABS-CBN. I have here the December 20, 2013 announcement in the SEC Form 17C. This is part of the Lopez Holdings page, wherein you said Lopez Holdings Corporation entered a memorandum of agreement with Lopez Inc. for the subscription to Philippine deposit receipts to be issued by Lopez Inc., exercisable into 34,702,140 common shares in ABS-CBN Corporation. Lopez Holdings Corporation's total investment in the deposit receipts amount to 1.5 billion, which it sourced from internally generated funds and a short-term loan. So there is the Lopez Holdings. Again, I reiterate my point earlier to the chairman, if you can give us also the documents in Lopez Holdings Inc. and Lopez Inc., because what we have now are only ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation and ABS-CBN Holdings. If possible, Attorney Quezon. You're also
Yes,
the
Mr.
corporate
Chair.
sec.
We will submit, Your Honor.
Thank you. So just like to clarify, it's in the website of Lopez Holdings Corporation. Of course, Lopez Inc. is not there because it's not a publicly listed corporation. So we now proceed to...
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Congressman...
earlier Congressman Marcoleta alluded to and read portions of the prospectus dated January 6, 2014. Can we stipulate as to the existence of this document, 112 pages? Because it was not submitted by ABS-CBN into the record, so that we can make it part of the record, and an admission on the part of ABS-CBN.
Thank you for that, Congressman Rimulya. Kindly submit to us the prospectus that you gave, which was earlier read by the Honorable Marcoleta. Thank you, Congressman Rimulya. The next congressman to ask questions or manifestation is Congresswoman Josephine Ramirez Sato. There was also time given by the Honorable Deputy Speaker Vilma Santos and Congresswoman Joy Tambunting. The Honorable Josephine Sato is recognized. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Some of my questions have been asked, and I will not ask them anymore. So, may I direct my questions to the Commissioner of the Securities and Exchange Commission?
Commissioner Amatong. Go ahead, Congressman Sato.
Commissioner, are you there?
We are
Opo, kasi gusto ko lamang pong balikan at iklaro yung PDR at yung shares of stock. Kasi po, marami na kaninang nag-define what a PDR is. They, a lot, or practically everybody said that PDR is a financial instrument and considered as security or equity derivative. Totoo po ba yun?
Yes, Your Honor, it is a security, not considered a share of stock, Your Honor.
So it is clear that the PDR is not a share of stock. It is, and I will quote the implementing rules of the Securities Regulation Code. It says that a derivative with respect to equity securities is a financial instrument whose value depends on the interest in or performance of an underlying security, but which does not require any investment of principal in the underlying security. Is that a correct definition?
Yes, Your Honor, that is under the 2015 rules and regulations of the Securities Regulation Code. You are muted, Your Honor. Your Honor, you are muted.
Sorry. So it is clear po, as you said, PDR is not a share of stock. But PDR is secured by a share of stock. So dalawa po itong pinag-uusapan natin, yung PDR at yung underlying security. Totoo po ba yun?
That is correct, Your Honor. That is correct.
So we have to differentiate the two, the PDR and the underlying security, which is the share of stock.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. So ito po kanina ay naitanong na kay Dean Del Castillo, but I would like to ask it from you because you are here as a representative of the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Okay, Your Honor.
It is very common. We have repeated time and again that PDR is not a share of stock. But just to make clear, I would just want to make a run-through of the full beneficial ownership or the right granted to the shareholders or owners of shares of stock under the revised corporation code. That the holder of a PDR have the right to issuance of a stock certificate.
If it only if it exercises option, Your Honor, you have right to deliver.
Yeah, but I'm asking you if the PDR is still with a holder.
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
We have the right to demand that a share of stock be issued in his name and be registered in the books of the corporation.
Not as a PDR holder, Your Honor. Only if it.
So does he have the right to have the transfer in his favor recorded in the stock and transfer book of the corporation?
No, Your Honor, unless it exercises option right.
Does he have the right to be informed of the annual or special meetings of the corporation as provided for in Section 49 of the Corporation Code?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to participate in the annual or special meetings of the corporation as provided for in Section 49 of the Corporation Code?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to vote on the following matters? One, does he have the right to vote in the elections of the Board of Directors?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to vote on the extension or shortening of the corporate term of the corporation?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to vote on the issue of increase or decrease of capital stock of the corporation as provided for in Section 37 of the Corporation Code?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to vote on the issue of creation or increase of bonded indebtedness of the corporation?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to vote on the sale or other disposition of assets under Section 39 of the Corporation Code?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to vote on a planned merger or consolidation of the corporation under Section 75 of the Corporation Code?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to vote on the amendments, proposed amendments of bylaws of the corporation?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to be elected as a director of the corporation?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to be elected as president of the corporation?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to vote for the removal of directors of the corporation?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the power to inspect and demand reproduction of corporate books and records?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the right to be furnished the financial statements of the corporation?
No, Your Honor.
Does he have the appraisal rights as provided for under Section 80 of the corporation?
No, Your Honor.
So it is very clear, Mr. Commissioner, that the holder of the PDR does not have the basic right of a shareholder of the underlying security or the underlying corporation.
That is correct, Your Honor. The holder of the underlying corporation.
So it is again very clear that the PDR is separate and distinct from the underlying security or the shares of stock.
Yes, Your Honor. That is correct.
Okay. And you earlier stated that the PDRs of the Raptor was invalidated because it provides that it imposes obligations to both the holding company and the PDR holders to consult the holders of the PDRs before the corporation can amend its charter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Consult the approval of at least thirds of our holders.
Two-thirds. Yes. Earlier, it was mentioned that there is this provision in the PDR instrument of the ABS-CBN that gives the right to the holder and the issuer to amend the terms of the PDR. Is that allowed?
Your Honor, if you are talking about the abrogation rights mentioned in point 7 of the sample PDR, this provision only provides that the rights may be varied or abrogated by instrument or other agreement executed by the issuer, which is the holding company, the proposed variation approved by a majority of holders. So, an amendment to the contractual agreement, a novation of the contractual agreement by consent of both issuer and third of the.
So it only affects solely the terms of reference or the terms of the contract, which is embodied in the PDR, and it does not in any way affect the underlying share. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor, yes.
So it is this provision in the PDR of ABS-CBN is different, way different from that provision which can be found in the PDR of Rappler. Is that correct?
There is no corresponding either the ABS-CBN or the 7 PDRs that are the same as the Rappler provision, which requires both Rappler holdings and to obtain to first have the PDR holder and obtain the approval of 2/3 before it can otherwise change by its articles of incorporation or bylaws.
That is very correct. And that's very clear. Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner. So let's go back to the PDR. Under the law and under the terms of the PDR as issued by ABS-CBN, there are two basic rights of the holder of PDR. That is, to share in the cash distribution, and secondly, the right to convert the PDR to share of stock if he is qualified under the Philippine law. Is that correct, Mr. Commissioner?
According to the terms of the that is correct, Your Honor, based on the terms and conditions of the PDR.
And if and when the PDR holder does not exercise the right to convert the PDR into a share of stock, then the ownership of the underlying security remains with the issuer. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the terms are the underlying, the ownership of the underlying shares remain with the issuer of the PDR case, ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation.
And having the issuer, ABS-CBN Holdings, retaining all the rights of a owner or the registered owner of the stock, he exercises all the powers and the rights which I have read to you earlier. Is that correct?
That's correct.
To vote, the right. So there is no diminution of the rights granted by law to the registered owner of the shares of stock.
That's our understanding, Your Honor.
Okay. There is no diminution because the owner, as registered owner of the underlying shares, still holds it as his own.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yeah. Earlier, you mentioned, or you also answered about the PCD, or the Philippine Central Depository Company. Can you, because you were not able to completely expound on it earlier, can you tell me what is the nature of this corporation?
The PCD nominee corporation that essentially acts as a trustee for all of the shares that are now traded on the Philippine Stock Exchange. By itself, PCD nominee corporation do anything for itself. All the shares that are traded on the Philippine Stock Exchange electronically are launched in the legal title is with PCD corporation, and this is to facilitate trading. In the old days, when were in paper format, in order to sell your share of stock, you would place a sell order with your broker, and if your broker sold it, you would have to sign the paper document and then give it to your broker, and then it would be transmitted to the buyer in exchange for the cash. Today, Your Honor, all of the shares of stock are lodged in the name of PCD Nominee Corporation, so that once the sell order is made, PCD Nominee Corporation will essentially separate the share of stock, and when the cash payment is made by the buyer, it is transmitted. That share is transferred into the name of the buyer, without the selling shareholder having to sign any paper document. Your Honor, you're on mute, Your Honor. Nakamute po kayo.
So it's very clear, Mr. Commissioner, that ang PCD company nominee is just a trustee of the underlying share, right?
Yes,
And
Your Honor.
while the shares of stock, which are the underlying security of the PDR, are in the effective possession of the PCB company nominee, the ownership and all the rights pertaining to a particular share are still lodged with the issuer of those shares. Is that correct?
All the rights of the shareholder are the shareholder of the share. You are correct that PCB Corporation is in effect trustee only of the shares or of the shareholder. However,
ang PCB po ay humahawak lamang ng mga shares of stock na para kung i-exercise na ng PDR holder yung kanyang right to convert the PDR into a share of stock ay nandiyan at available yan. Totoo po yun.
Tama po yun. Plus, multiple layers of requirement to make hindi nga mapunta sa foreigner yung share of stock. The PCD nominee should determine that the to transfer the shares will not result in a transfer of the ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation share.
So it is a safeguard so that all the requirements and the provisions of the Constitution and the law are protected and respected. Is that correct?
It is built into and there is a mechanism to ensure that the shares transferred, the shares in the underlying corporation are not transferred to a foreigner, Your Honor. That's correct.
Okay. So that is a safety net or a safety measure to assure that the constitutional prohibition on the sale of shares to foreigners are protected and not violated. So let's go to we earlier stated that the second right of the PDR holder is the right to convert the PDR to shares of stock if he is qualified. So, dalawa pong bagay ito. Yung pag-exercise ng right to convert the PDR into a share of stock. Yung pag-exercise ng right to convert ng isang Pilipino. Ano po yung proseso na sinusunod para ma-exercise ng isang Pilipino na holder ng PDR na i-convert niya yung kanyang PDR into a share of stock?
Under the terms of the PDR, PDR holder should of 10 centavos. I don't know if it and the ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation to determine his qualification to the share of stock of the underlying company after he pays the price.
So wala pong problema kung ang mag-exercise ng right to convert ay isang Pilipino.
Tama po yun. Based on the PDR,
Ulit lang po, sir, kasi nagsa-choppy na po yung sinabi niyo. I did not get your last statement.
you are correct, Your Honor. In the PDRs, that is how it's supposed to work.
So, ang nagkakaroon po ng diskusyon or issue ay kung ang mag-e-exercise ng right to convert this PDR into a share of stock ay kung yan ay isang foreigner. Totoo po yan.
Tama po yun. However, conditions terms of the PDR that are intended to ensure that a foreigner shares in the underlying company. I would just like to stress po, my statements are based on the representation in the PDR, but in other cases, we would not know what habang nangyayari.
Pakiulit lang po, kasi choppy po yung dating, pakiulit lang po.
Yeah, Your Honor, when the PDR holders, whether it's or a foreigner, exercise their rights, they do not, the actual process is monitored by the SEC. So my statements are based on the regulations in the PDRs themselves.
Okay. But it is provided for in the PDR and in the PDR instrument that if the PDR holder is a foreigner, he does not have the right to acquire or to convert his PDR into a share. And his only right is to get the proceeds of the sale of the underlying share. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, or direct that somebody else to a qualified holder, to a qualified shareholder.
So, 5.3 po, condition 5.3 of the PDR instrument of the ABS-CBN specifically states that if the PDR holder is a foreigner and he exercises the PDR, the only right he has is to receive the net proceeds of the sale of the underlying ABS-CBN share after it is sold through an eligible broker in the open market or the PSC. Is that correct?
Tama po yun, under 5.3, Your Honor.
Yes. So, the share has to be sold through an eligible broker in an open market or at the Philippine Stock Exchange. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. At this time, Your Honor, the Philippine Stock Exchange is the open market referred to here.
Oh, it is. Sir, before I go back to you, can I ask if there is a representative from the Philippine Stock Exchange?
Bago po sumagot ang representative mula sa Philippine Stock Exchange, ay papalahanan ko lang po si Congresswoman Josephine Sato na lumagpas na po tayo sa takdang oras natin na 20 minutes. Kayo po ma'am ay nakakonsume na ng 24 minutes. Sumobra na po tayo ng 4 minutes. Kaya po sana pagkatapos po sumagot ng PSE, ay magbigay na po kayo ng inyong huling katanungan o kaya huling pahayag. Maraming salamat po, Congressman Sato. PSE, you're now recognized.
The PSC, where is the PSC representative, please?
Congresswoman Sato, wala na po yata yung taga-PSE. Congresswoman Sato, wala na po yung taga-PSE.
Kung wala po, pwede po akong bumalik kay Commissioner Amatong. At kung pwede niya pong sagutin yung aking tatanong sa PSC.
Maaari po, pagkatapos pong sumagot ng SEC, ay kung maaari po ibigay niyo na po ang inyong huling katanungan o kaya po ang inyong huling pahayag. Maraming salamat po.
I will try to answer, Your Honor.
So when a particular share is sold in an open market, or as you said, in the Philippine Stock Exchange, what is the participation of the foreign PDR holder in the sale of the stock, the underlying stock at the PSC?
Aside from exercising his option, wala na po.
Wala na po. He cannot identify the buyer of the shares that will be sold.
He cannot identify the buyer, Your Honor, or dictate the price. Ibibenta na lang po ng qualified broker on the market, at kung ano man yung presyo na benta niya, yun po ang tatanggapin dapat ng PDR holder.
So, klaro po na walang participation sa sale ng underlying shares sa PSC yung foreign PDR holder.
Under the terms of the PDR po, that is the representation po. Tama po.
Okay, that will be all, and if there is a second round, then I will just want to manifest my intention to ask further questions later. That will be all, Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat po, Congresswoman Josephine Sato. At para po sa huling magtatanong, last but not the least, Congressman Ron Salo. Congressman Salo, you're now recognized. You have the floor.
Maraming salamat po, Chairman. Magandang gabi po sa bawat isa po sa atin. Magiging mabilis na lang po ito dahil alam ko late na and direct to the point na po ako. Una po, para sa ABS-CBN kay Dean Castillo, mabilis lang po ito. Dean Castillo, magandang gabi po sa inyo.
Magandang gabi po.
Apo. Tanong ko lang po, what is the primary purpose ng pag-issue ng PDR?
It's purely for financing po.
So basically for financing po ito. So pagkalap po ng investment para doon sa ABS-CBN Corporation Broadcasting, tama po ba yun?
Para po sa ABS-CBN Holdings, meron po silang mga obligasyon, may mga pagkakautang, at yung balance, they invested in ABS-CBN Broadcasting.
Yes, because I understand ABS-CBN Holdings based nasa website po is 37.61% ang pagmamayari po nito sa ABS-CBN Corporation Broadcasting. Tama po ba?
Yung PDR po?
Yes. No, yung ownership ng ABS-CBN Holdings, 37.61%.
Tama po yun. ABS-CBN Holdings owns 34.67% of the shares in ABS-CBN Corporation.
And Dean Castillo, basically ABS-CBN, nabanggit na rin po kanina, ulitin ko lang po, its shares are publicly traded. Tama po ba?
Tama po yan.
Ang ibig sabihin po ba nito, kahit sino pwedeng bumili for as long as they're Filipinos?
Kahit sino po pwedeng bumili sa merkado for as long as he is qualified.
So basically, everyone can buy ABS-CBN shares. Tama po ba?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you so much.
Thank you po.
Thank you. So basically, yung ABS-CBN Corporation po, kapag nag-issue po siya ng kanyang shares publicly, that's also part ng pagkuha ng investment from the public. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po yun.
Napansin ko itong Capital International, binanggit niyo po kanina, 132 million PDRs ang binili po niya. Bakit PDRs? Hindi na lang po shares ng ABS-CBN Corporation. In as much as publicly traded naman po siya.
Yeah, ano lang po yun. The investment is in the form of PDRs.
Yes. So, pero, had it been, bakit kaya? Bakit hindi siya bumili? Dahil nabanggit din kanina, foreign corporation po siya, so hindi siya qualified?
Hindi po, kaya po PDRs po ang kanyang binili. So,
hindi pwede.
So,
basically, I really have this impression sa totoo lang that we resorted to this particular creative way, I suppose same with the other fellow congressman din, dahil mayroong prohibition na 100% ownership. At itong mga foreigners po natin that you mentioned a while ago, own 187 million shares, PDR, na may kalakip na shares doon sa ABS-CBN Corporation because in the first place, they cannot participate, they cannot purchase the shares. So it's through PDR. Tama po ba yun?
that's correct. They are limited to buying the financial instruments.
So basically, ulitin ko na lang po din yung mga binabanggit natin kanina dahil hindi po sila qualified. Umpisa pa lang binabanggit that what cannot be legally done directly cannot be done indirectly. If acts that cannot be legally done directly can be done indirectly, then all laws would be also illusory. Inuulit ko lang po yung binanggit ko nila kanina. So pupunta naman po ako sa SEC kay Commissioner Amatong. Commissioner, magandang gabi. Mabilis lang din po ito. Sa kasalukuyan po ba, anong mga company ang nag-i-issue ng PDR? Philippine companies.
Good evening po, Congressman. Tulad ng sinabi ko po kanina, malalaman lang po namin na nag-issue ng PDR ay yung pong nagre-register with the SEC. Yung pong nag-offer to the public or to more than 19 people ng PDRs nila. Sa ngayon, sa pagkakaalam namin, it's only GMA7 and ABS-CBN that have registered PDRs with us. However, there may be others who have issued PDRs that are not registered with the SEC. Tulad ng RAP.
Thank you. So, sa naglista lang po sa inyo, so far, 2 lang po.
Tama po yun, Congressman.
Ano yung isa? ABS-CBN and?
GMA7, Your Honor.
GMA7. So, parehong nasa media-related, media companies, media entities, na parehong may prohibition din. Basically, sa pag-open ng shares.
That's correct, Your Honor, as registered with us.
Okay. Thank you. Pangalawa, possible ba, babalik ako dun sa ABS-CBN Holdings, that ABS-CBN Holdings will own 100% the ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation? Possible ba yun?
Kung bibilin po nila yung shares ng ABS-CBN Corporation po.
Possible. Possible also that the board of directors ng ABS-CBN Corporation and ABS-CBN Holding are one and the same.
So, sige rin po. I do not know right now, Your Honor, if the boards are
so
the
same. Just say, and possible then that the members of the board would be the same and the shareholders would be the same. Possible. Possible also to have yung sa ngayon kasi yung PDR na ini-issue po nila based doon sa holdings ng ABS-CBN Holdings. Yun yung may PDR. Pero may equivalent po siya na share doon sa ABS-CBN Corporation. So possible din po ba na all the shares ng ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation to have equivalent PDRs?
Well, so ngayon, hindi po yun yung but I suppose, Your Honor.
Possible. And possible also to sell all the inter-PDRs to foreigners.
Possible, I suppose, Your Honor.
Possible. Even to Chinese nationals, even to Russians or whoever, Africans, for as long as, because it's already PDR, tawag po natin doon, dahil doon sa binabanggit ninyo kanina, na wala namang quote-unquote share, hindi naman sila nagmamay-ari ng share, quote-unquote, PDR yung hawak nila, possible.
The PDRs, Your Honor, can be sold to anyone.
To anybody. As far
Because
as
they are stock.
yes. Doon sa, pupunta po ako doon sa binabanggit na limitations kanina. At any rate, yung amendment ng Articles of Incorporation ba, kapag in-amend mo yon, is that an exercise of ownership? An attribute of the exercise of an ownership?
Yung,
If you amend
in
the
order
articles-
for a corporation to amend its Articles of Incorporation, the majority of the shareholders must
Yes,
approve
yes.
your-
It's a simple question. Yung pag-amend ba ng articles ng incorporation mo na kung yung kumpanya, is that an exercise of ownership?
I would say so, Your Honor.
Is that also an exercise of management?
Maybe not, Your Honor.
Kapag in-amend mo yung articles of incorporation mo,
with the board,
yes,
ano ba?
possible,
The
can
management
that
of
be
the
considered,
corporation, Your Honor, is
yes, can that be considered also an exercise of management by the board over its articles of incorporation?
the board
The company-
would normally propose, Your Honor, it would have to be approved by the shareholders.
Yes. Bylaws, pag in-amend mo yung bylaws mo, would that also constitute an exercise of your ownership over the company?
Yes, Your Honor. I would say so, Your Honor. I would agree.
Same with management, I suppose.
The bylaws, the management may propose, Your Honor, the shareholders would have to approve.
No, I mean an exercise of management.
By the shareholders, Your Honor, you could probably
Disposition
say
of
that.
shares. Disposition of shares. I suppose it's also an exercise of ownership, tama ba?
Aba,
You dispose. Yes.
by the owner of the shares. Aba.
Going into the negative, kapag pinigilan ka para gawin yon, would that constitute also an exercise? Positive or negative?
Your Honor, what can you be more specific? For example, Your Honor, the law prohibits the sale of shares
No.
of mass media companies to ano.
If someone, they prohibit you from doing it from your own company, what would that amount to?
How would that work, Your Honor?
So, kanina, positive. You amend your articles, that's an exercise.
If the shareholders vote not to amend, that is, the vote not to amend is also an exercise of ownership, Your Honor.
Yes, that's also an exercise. But also, because they cannot do it because they imposed something on themselves, that's also an exercise of that particular ownership. Tama ba? Yes.
The shareholders impose something on themselves, Your Honor.
Then, and yet, in your honest opinion, dun sa binabanggit ko nga kanina, even if the holding company ngayon did all this, possible entire PDRs, ibenta niya sa foreigners, dahil magkaiba lang ano, wala pa rin kayang, in your honest opinion, hindi pa rin ba ito mag-amount to circumvention of the violation or constitutional provision? I suppose kapag nag-issue ka sa PDR sa kung wala namang constitutional provision yon, it doesn't really matter. Pero, in this particular case, when there's that particular requirement of the Constitution that completely 100% owned lang siya, and yet, through the use of this PDR, binanggit din kanina, because they cannot get investments from foreigners, you share it, you creatively come up with a PDR in order for you to be able to receive certain investments from them. Then yung tanong ko rin kanina, then that particular PDRs can also be sold to foreigners, entirely of it, even to nationals, and even to Chinese or Russians or Africans, and yet, ang tanong doon, would that still not amount possibly to circumvention of the Constitution?
Your Honor, let me first say that that is the question that is pending with the Supreme Court, Your Honor, whether or not the sale of the PDRs is tantamount to transfer of ownership. And as I explained kanina, Your Honor, we will defer to the Supreme Court. Let me then try to answer your question, Your Honor, in the spirit nga of this legislative hearing in aid of legislation. Meron naman po mga pinapayagang pamamaraan para kumuha ng investment. For example, Your Honor, if the corporation were to sell bonds or indebtedness to foreigners, sa pagkakaintindi po namin, hindi naman po pinagbabawalan ng Constitution yon. So, obtaining investment from foreigners is not necessarily violative of the Constitution. Ang katanungan po talaga dito is whether this form of investment is, as you mentioned, a violation of the Constitution, and that is the very question pending in the Supreme Court right now in the case initiated by the Office of the Solicitor General.
Congressman Salo, Commissioner Matong, one quick interjection.
Maraming salamat po, Commissioner, sa inyong sagot. Tama
Congressman
naman po
Salo,
kayo that,
one
may
quick
mga
interjection
words
lang.
That, for example, indebtedness, na hindi naman po ito mag-amount to any violation of the Constitution.
Congressman,
Nonetheless, thank you very much, Chairman. The way I really looked at it, kagaya po ng binanggit ko po kanina, Chairman, dahil ito yung pamaraan na ginamit po nila, babalik na lang po tayo doon sa original na umpisa ng pag-uusap na ito, yung binanggit po ninyo kanina that what cannot legally be done directly cannot be done indirectly. If acts that cannot be legally done directly can be done indirectly, then all laws would be illusory. Maraming salamat po, Chairman.
thank you. One quick question. Thank you, Congressman Salo. Mr. Chairman, one quick question lang po.
Yes, Vice Chairman Mike Defensor. Isang question lang
Isa
po.
lang po. Commissioner Amatong, yung po bang PDR, because listed company, pinapa-approve sa inyo yung PDR instrument. Tama po ba?
Yung PDR instrument po ay pinapa-approve po sa
Apo.
SEC. Tama po.
Pero kung sino pong bibili noon, kung saan ibibenta, hindi nyo po alam yun. Hindi nyo na po ina-approve yun. Bahala na po sila.
That is correct, Your Honor. That was the point I was trying to make kanina, that in the actual buying and selling, that's not reported to the SEC. It's really our self-regulatory organizations, the PSE and the PDTC, that are aware of the actual transfers.
Thank you po. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there are no more interpreters, Mr. Chairman, if you will allow me, I will already move for a suspension or an adjournment, Mr. Chairman. It is up to your wisdom.
There's a motion. Sandali po, bago ko muna payagan ang motion ni Congressman Mike Defensor, ipapaalala ko lang po na sa susunod natin na hearing ay dadako na po tayo sa mga susunod na issue ng ABS-CBN patungkol pa rin po sa pagiging sa constitutionality pa rin ng ABS-CBN, kung ang pagkakabalik ba o ang pagkakakuha ba muli ng ABS, ng Lopez family sa ABS-CBN matapos ang EDSA Revolution noong 1986 ay nakasaayon sa ating konstitusyon. Sakali pong matatapos ang usaping ito at inaasahan po natin na magiging mabilis lang ang usapan natin sa usaping ito, tayo naman po ay dadako sa constitutionality, whether or not it's unconstitutional, yung 50 years po o lumagpas na ba na 50 years na franchise ng ABS-CBN. Sakali naman po na matatapos po natin yung dalawang usaping iyon, ay maaari na po tayong dumako sa usapin ng black box at ng sky cable na nakapatungkol pa rin po sa prangkisa ng ABS-CBN. Ang susunod po nating hearing ay gagawin po natin sa Lunes, 1 p.m. Dito pa rin po sa plenary at via Zoom.
Mr. Chairman, with the indulgence of the members of the committee, I move to suspend the hearing until Monday, 1 p.m. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion, duly seconded. Hearing no objections, the hearing is suspended.